Hey, this is B from Kongs R Us, and welcome to a fun Wednesday. I hope everybody's had a great holiday break. And today we're going to be talking about the retro shooter Pandora box kit. Now, I got this a couple of days ago. The main impetus for me getting this was the Buy Stuff guys. They put together a fun kit to be able to mod your Time Crisis machine with the retro shooter mod. And before, I really wasn't interested in this set that much at all. I didn't have much appeal for this. And the reason why is for folks that have been following my channel, I've made a lot of light gun content. I got into it with Big Buck Hunter with Arcade 1-Up, eventually got a T2. I had this Time Crisis. So I've played with all the Sinden Arcade 1-Up hardware. In fact, I even have a real Sinden that I've tested and played with a while ago to be able to test out and play and build my own PC mod. I eventually made my own point blank light gun cabinet that you can see over there that has gun for IR technology with real Namco Bandai guns that are absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite mods that I've ever done. So I've done quite a bit with the light gun space. And so I felt like I didn't really need the retro shooter kit. In fact, I even got something called the Arcade Europe light gun. And now there's like this new one with the recoil function. So there's all different types of light guns out there on the market. So I was like, I don't really need this retro shooter plug and play kit. I really don't need to be able to, test it out because I have so many different ways personally to be able to play these games. But as soon as I saw the Buy Stuff guys put together their mod kit for Time Crisis, I was like, this is probably the only kit that I would actually be interested in testing out because the look of the retro shooter kit, the blue and the red guns, they match perfectly to be able to replace these stock guns on Time Crisis. Now, I did not, I did a lot of content on the Time Crisis guns, and I thought the manual recoil on these just was not that well executed for the gameplay, and so this would definitely be a good modding candidate. I didn't like the T2 mod with the retro shooter kit. The Uzis are really cool to be able to, even though they look like Uzis and they're kind of like light and cheap and they make the little spinning noise. I didn't like the fact that you would change the Uzis to a handgun, and then even the Big Buck mod, you can do the big, but those are shotguns, right? So I didn't like the integration kits that the other cabinets had for retro shooter. Time Crisis really the only one that I thought that made sense. So as soon as I saw it, I reached out to the guys and was like, hey, I'm gonna buy a retro shooter kit to be able to test it out. And so in a future video, I'll be doing an installation tutorial on how to get that set up. But today, I wanted to be able to test out and try this out for exactly what it is. Is it a plug and play solution? Does it not only have the guns that you can replace and put in it, but there's a Pandora's box in here that you can be able to plug in, and it's supposed to work pretty seamlessly, right? Chris says, once you get the kits, you can call me Billy Badass. And Chris says, enjoy retro shooter for what it is. Yeah, I've seen some folks make a lot of content, and it's it has its vices. The recoil functionality on this is kind of like not a full recoil. I've heard it feel like almost like a zippy type of recoil feature. But I want to test it out. And first off, I want to see what's inside of the box. I want to see how well integrated this kit is. I have a TV right next to me because you can plug this into any TV. You don't have to install it into an arcade. But this could be, a pretty decent kit for folks that just want a light gun solution that's as plug and play as it gets, because light gun setup with a PC, it takes time. It can be done quicker if you use vendors like Retro Lizard and RPEG Electronics and folks, because they make some really great PC mods and builds. But this could be a really great solution for folks that just want to plug this into their TV and not have it integrated into anything. So we're going to be doing an unboxing and testing today. I want to give you my thoughts on it because, again, I've done quite a bit of light gun modding. So I thought it was time for me to jump onto the retro shooter Bangwin. I did pay full price for this. This is just their basic kit that just has the guns in the Pandora's box. I did not do the full setup with the rest of the controllers and everything. I really feel like I needed that. I think it's still somewhat around $250, $270 shipped or something to be able to get it shipped to me. It took about 10 days to get it shipped. And here it is. Here's what's inside. So first off, I'm picking up the controllers and feeling them for the first time. The plastic is pretty light, and it has two parts to it so that you can put them together. So there's not a lot of heft on the first side of it, but let's make sure we plug in both halves of the gun. And see what it's like. I'm just kind of like testing out the plastic quality first off to see what it feels like. It's not like 3D printed or anything, so it is actually molded plastic. So it's not bad, not terrible. Buttons, and there's a little kind of analog joystick on here as well for IR sensors. So I think they've upgraded this. I think the first time I saw this, there was just 2 IR sensors, and now it looks like there might be more. So these are the IR sensors that go onto the top of your cabinet or TV or whatnot. Let's plug this in and let's just see how it feels like when it's put all together. Do we have to screw these in too? Are there's actually little screws that I need? And this is me jumping into it and not even looking at controller or actual whatchamacallit, instructions. That's how I do. I want to see how easy it is to be able to just kind of plug something in and integrate it. So it looks like this plugs in here, and there is like little screws here to be able to put together. All right, so first off, in hand, it feels okay. There's a lot of extra little bumpies and ridges. I kind of don't like these little extra ridges. It doesn't feel as comfortable. It's like giving you a little massage on your hand right there. It's a little bit rough to the touch. Feels okay. The clicking, I do like that there's a clicking micro switch. It doesn't recoil all the way. Like the kind of trigger doesn't like go all the way in. It kind of just stops right there. So there's a lot of space to be able to like pull into the trigger. I wonder why that is. I wonder if there's like a different mode or setting like that where it doesn't pull in all the way. So not sure how I feel about that, but that is the trigger. Got a button on your right side, got a button, 2 buttons on your left side, and an analog stick. That's it. No other functionality to it. Looks like there's a power kind of cable here as well as a USB cable. So that's cool. So let's get this one off to the side. We'll put the blue one together shortly. Quarter Arcade Deck here says he loves his. What's going on? Toxin says, from what you've seen personally, you're not a fan, but it's a good option to have. Completely reskinning your T2 with the bicep integration kit and retro shooters. So yeah, for folks that did it with the T2 guns, I thought that was a really good kit. I just didn't like replacing the Uzis with these guns, and if you're gonna keep the T2, it felt too much of a compromise to me to make that kind of switch and change. But changing this right here, this red handgun, on this red handgun here, this I feel like is a fair compromise. And let's just look at the size of the guns for a minute. The retro shooter gun itself is tiny. It is tiny compared to like some of the other guns. This is the stock arcade one up. Time Crisis gun here. It's a little bit of bigger barrel, but like this is almost the exact same size as a typical Bandai Namco light gun. So I like the size of this. These retro shooter guns are a little bit short, a little tiny, if you will. Even the stock itself, look at this, even is almost like, an inch and a half or half an inch shorter on the top, but everything about it is a little bit tiny. I mean, let's compare it to other light guns here. This is compared to a Sinden right here. So a Sinden gun, again, hefty and big, retro shooter kit. It's a little bit tiny, maybe these are just made for smaller hands. And this is what I was talking about. The trigger, at least on the Sinden, goes all the way in. This one, it just kind of stops right there. I don't know how I feel about that. I would have liked to have seen this like have all the way kind of pressed in. So that's just for comparison's sake. I mean, for folks that have never seen an AE light gun, an Arcade Europe light gun, this is the Arcade Europe light gun. Again, tiny, 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 tiny. Maybe that's just my first reaction, is that these guns are tiny. And again, I don't like how the trigger just stops. I want it to go more. Okay. Just wanted to compare the sizes of the gun so far. Okay, we're gonna put the blue gun together. If I don't end up liking this, I could always go back to stock, right? That's the whole thing. But I did see that there's a good option with a control panel that the Buy Stuff guys put together as well. So that's going to be really cool. Sorry, I got my blue gun and my red gun here for retro shooter. I still need to screw in all 4 sides. I'm sure there's hardware on the side. So I'm just going to stick these to the side for right now and see what else is in this box. All right, so these are the sensors, it looks like. So these are sensors that have USB-C inputs or in the bottom part. So these are going to be plugged in, I assume, in a minute. And we're going to find a way to mount this to the TV. Let's check what's on the inside. There are some, interesting, lenses for dual camera mobile phone lenses. Oh, interesting. Is this like a wide body lens? Is that what this is for? That's cool. Okay, so this is for dual camera lenses. All right, so let's take a look and see. Maybe this just kind of plugs in. Does this kind of screw in? Yeah, interesting. Okay, so this kind of screws into the top part, and now you have an extra wide lens. Ah, okay. So the wider lens, why do they include a wider lens? So for IR technology, you have to be able to see at least if there's four sensors, three of the four sensors to be able to work properly. And so that means you have to be as far back as possible to be able to see the guns. But if you're farther back, you're going to be less accurate. So with a wide angle lens, this allows you to be closer to the screen, and it'll kind of widen out your lens to be able to see more of that integration. So I think that's pretty cool that they included these wide-eyed lenses. You have a blue one and a red one for your lenses here. I guess the only other thing that is non-realistic is that this is just an orange cap that they have to include for it to be, usable. But I think we got to leave these lenses on. I think we have to keep them on, otherwise it's going to be a little bit too off. So let's stick on our blue lens. Super simple. I don't know if these lenses were made for this thing. It actually says for digital camera and mobile phone. So they were just using something else for oh no, I just unscrewed this whole thing. I was not supposed to unscrew this whole thing. What did I do? Okay, this lens. I just broke the lens. I unscrewed the cap because I wasn't supposed to unscrew it all the way too far. What did I do? Okay. So crap. All right. I unscrewed the cap. I was like, what the heck? This is too hard. It wouldn't go. That was dumb. All right, so now I got to put the lens back in, make sure it's the right way. This is going to stick in this way. I was like, why isn't this actually staying on? And now I'm screwed. Now I'm like, crap. Okay, this needs to go in this way. I gotta see what I did now, because that lens goes in there. This one goes in here. Do not unscrew the lens all the way, okay? So maybe we'll be testing just the red gun for right now until I fix this. I was like, why is this thing like so hard to pull off? This is just a cap. Do not unscrew the lens. This is why people don't do this live, because they're dumb like me and drop things, break things. This is why people tune in to the channel, to see me be bumbling fool. All right, so we got the blue gun in. All right, there he goes. All right, Chosen One says, for the money and simplicity, you can't beat it. The only thing is easier is the emu deck. All right, well, we'll see. This is why we're doing this live, to see how easy it is. I've not even opened up any instructions. Just wanted to test out what else is in here. Keihin says, are there any guns with a moving barrel recoil on the market today besides the thing that Arcade 1UP made? I did see a recent gun option that was yet to be released that does have a sliding recoil. The only other one that I know that's on the market right now, it's not a current one that you can get, but there's a PS1, PlayStation 1 gun that has a sliding recoil on it that you can mod with Gun for IR technology, or you can get real Namco Bandai guns and get those modded with Gun for IR technology too. They're just really expensive right now. There's not a commercial version of a Bale that moving gun right now, but they have made several replicas of those Bandai Namco guns. I would definitely reach out to somebody like Arpeg Electronics and check out their website to see if they have any options, but they do run pretty expensive. Did the buy stuff mod? It's awesome. Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully we're going to be doing that pretty soon. All right. Did I get the premium set? You got the same set I got. I didn't get the super premium set. I got the one that was just, I think it's the gold one that was just the pedals. Oh, let's look at these pedals real fast. The Pandora's box and no controllers or anything. All right. So these are your pedals. All right. So it's just simple plastic pedal here. It has the, the grippy aluminum fake kind of pattern right here. It's just a simple plug in there, and that's it. So I mean, it's kind of cheap, but not a problem. Let's compare it with as people always love to compare. Let's look at compared to the Arcade 1UP one. Like compared to the Arcade 1UP pedal, it's not bad. I kind of wish I would be able to keep the Arcade 1UP pedal and make this work. I mean, it is the same connection type, so maybe we'll see. No, they're different TRS, TTRRS connection points there. But yeah, I actually was more impressed with the original arcade one pedal, but there it is. I also have real Namco Time Crisis pedals for those that haven't seen them before. This is a pedal. This is a real Namco pedal. This is like a $200 arcade pedal. This is a bad boy. I love this thing so much. It feels so good. But you know, for retro shooter, it's only $250, $250. I think that pedal costs as much as the entire kit, but that's the pedal. All right, quality, that's just meh. All right, so we got a controller. Let's see, we got an adapter here. Probably got to plug that back into the thing. And this is the main brains of the operation right here, this retro shooter Pandora box. So it seems like a pretty simple Android box here. It's a G box, a 003. Says Pandora's box on the side of it, but I'm pretty sure this is just kind of your standard Android box here. So we can kind of plug this in and test it out. There's 2-player, 1-player on this side. So it probably is a custom box actually just for this. So let's see, that's the plug on that side. This thing didn't even come with instructions. You kind of just have to wing it. I don't know. I don't think there's any formal instructions. You probably have to watch some YouTube videos or maybe their website about how to plug this in, but there were 0 instructions on here. This is kind of like my type of thing where you just plug it in and test it out. All right, here's all the extra cables and things that come with it. 2 extra IR sensors. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we get those to the TV. Oh, maybe this is it. Turn on the camera. Here it is. Ah, there are instructions. There's a PDF on their website. That's what they were saying. All right, that's the PDF on their website. Okay, so you can turn on the camera, scan the QR code, open the user manual. There it is. Ah, the user manual is on the website. They are very, very, whatchamacallit, tree loving people. They are being very, very economical. Okay, so here are the screws, and it comes with a screwdriver. Let's at least get a couple of the screws in. It looks like they're using a hex screw. So I want to do at least the red gun to be able to make sure that it's nice and secure and test it. So there's 4 screws on each side. I'm curious why they do that. You know, I'm wondering why, if it's just for packaging sake that they didn't, and you know, put it all together whole. But at least they give you a hex set and some screws. So these are your screws. Make sure you don't lose them. Make sure you don't do this live on YouTube because you could drop a screw and it could fall down onto your carpet. And so screwing stuff and modding on carpet, highly don't recommend, but I got no choice. This is where my main arcade and where my main stuff is. All right, so I got 1 screw, got 2 screws in. All right, let's just do the other 2 while we're at it and see what's going on. All right, plug and play into what? What's up, Game Room Theater? So light guns, for the most part, the versions that are out there, you have to set them up with the PC. And that's like the main, I guess the hardest part for folks that are trying to play light gun games is that you have to be able to set them up with the PC. Essentially, you're wanting your light gun to register as a mouse. And then from there, you can play light gun games. I mean, you've done Wiimotes. There's been all sorts of different types of modern light gun technology. But there's been very few options where it comes with the pre-installed Android box where you can just plug it in and play. So I think that's the biggest appeal of this setup, is that for less than $300, it's all inclusive: 2 guns, 2 pedals, an Android box, and then you plug it into any TV and it should work. Okay, so that's pretty much it. What's up? All right, can you hook this into a Legends Ultimate? I think so, but I don't really have a Legends Ultimate to test it onto. The best person to probably ask would be P-Dub's Arcade Loft. He's probably done a lot of content on integrating stuff and accessories into the At Games products. So I would definitely check out Dubs and his content there. Okay. I probably should be like looking at the instructions, but I always like to see how user intuitive is this stuff to figure out on its own, because I think that's the really key. Like, if this is super simplistic, you really should just be able to plug in and figure stuff out without checking the instruction manual, and you only kind of refer to it if you need to. I do like they included an HDMI cable, so that's really cool. So all you need to do is plug this HDMI cable and power from your Android box into a TV. So we're going to be doing that I have a 32-inch TV right next to me. So we're going to be plugging that into that to be testing it out. And let's take a look at the other cables real fast. Okay, so we got some cables here. Let's see. We got 2 USB-C cables up here. And then we have some more USB-C cables to whatchamacallit. All right, so we have USB-A to USB-C cables. Oh, look at this. Okay, so you have USB-A, and then you have 2 USB-C cables on the bottom. Right? So I assume that these 2 are for the light gun or for the sensors. And then we have some USB-C to USB-C cables for the other ones too. Okay, so let's see where this goes. All right, so for light guns, it says here on this side, and this is for pedal, gun recoil, okay? All right, so for light gun, I think this last one for USB 3C probably would be for the sensors. The sensors just need to plug into there. And here's where I'm thinking we need to set this up. Me not looking at instructions, right? Okay, so you kind of have a USB-C connector on the bottom here. And then I assume that it's going to go USB-C to USB-C to the bottom sensor on the other side too. So I think that's how it's going to set up. Okay, so let's see how this is going to set up. This is a sensor that just kind of sits on the top of your TV. So, okay, so let's see how this works. We got to sensor this. I have a nice little 32-inch TV right there. We're going to stick one sensor kind of right there. All right. And then they had these other bottom sensors that we needed to plug in as well. So we're going to get those set up in just a second too. So let's sensor this one on the other side. Oh, there's even little buttons on the top here too. Interesting. Okay. So we're just moving this to the side. I highly recommend looking at the website first. This is just me messing around and like how easy can I get this set up without having to look at the website? We'll see. We will see how easy this is. Is this truly plug and play where even an idiot like me can do this without looking at instructions? If I can do it, you can do it, because that's pretty much all we're doing right there. We're just popping the sensors on the top of the TV. And then there's also 2 other IR sensors that I have mistakenly already misplaced. Where did they go? Did they fall down? Okay, here they go. All right. Okay, so here are the other IR sensors. So they came with the 2 ones on the top. I believe when this first came out, they only came with 2 sensors, and now they added 2 more. And these there's a little USB-C plug on here, so I assume there's going to be USB-C to USB-C here, and it looks like you have to. Oh, I don't like this. You have to permanently mount these onto your TV. Okay, so here's the good news and the bad news. IR technology, especially with 4 points, means that there's going to be definitely really good accuracy on this. Bad news, at least for this way that they've integrated, it's really gaudy to have like these 4 points here, especially this other one down here. So they have 4 points right here. It's gonna be not great in my opinion to see it there, but I guess there's some other ways you can integrate this into your cabinet if you wanted to. I do think that the Buy Stuff guys, for if you're modding this into like your arcade panel, they have like ways to integrate this into the panel, but otherwise this looks a little gaudy, so we'll see. All right, the IR sensors can just plug into the TV USB port. They just need power. Okay, that's cool. Good to know. All right. Just mount it on the back of the Legends if you can do that. So for $40 more, you can get the PS2 style game packs and maybe 2 NES pads. Yeah, if you don't have extra controllers, it's not a bad set to be able to get those. I just didn't really need any of that stuff. So you only have 2. The Retro Shooter came with an upgrade kit for the 2 sensors, but it's sold out. So now the modern ones come with the extra 4 sensors. So yeah, I guess you just get improved accuracy with them. I think that's what's going to happen there. Okay, so let's see. Maybe we don't even need them, but I think the new sensors kind of need to have them there. Look at that. There's like USB ports on both sides. I don't know like if the arrows are supposed to be facing up or down. This is probably where I need to look at the instructions, be like, you probably want to have this facing up. Oh, and this kind of like slides in and out. So, all right. So you can just kind of mount this into your kits, and then this just kind of slides in and out right there. All right. I have a bunch of double-sided tape if I really need to replace this somewhere else. So I'm gonna double-sided tape this thing just for the sake of it. It comes with some pretty nice jelly double-sided tape right there. So that's some double-sided tape. We're just gonna put this on the bottom right there. I assume it needs to go into, these four corners right there, because otherwise the gun for IR has one on the top here and then on the sides here. But for this one, I'm gonna assume that it needs to be on these far points, just because the original ones came with these two sensors here. And if I did it wrong, I'm sure the retro shooter guys are like, this guy, not even looking at instructions, but we'll see. That's how I normally do. That's how we normally do. All right, we're gonna stick these into here on the back side. One more. All right. I'm gonna do one more double-sided tape for this side right here. Yeah, so I just want to test out this retro shooter kit for today, and then on a future video, I'll do a full demonstration installation tutorial on how to put this into Time Crisis. But I didn't want to do that before testing out the retro shooter kit in general, because really you can put this on any TV. You don't need to integrate it into your existing arcades. That's the kind of nice thing about it, is that you could just play in your living room and take this on the go with you if you wanted to. And so that's kind of the appeal. Maybe I take this to a party and be like, hey, let's play some Police Trainer or Point Blank or something. So I'm curious to see the game integration they have on here, as well as if there is an ability to play other multi-cade games on here. Okay, so there we go. We've mounted the 4 points onto the TV. We're good. We're good. Okay. Last thing we're going to do. Okay. We're going to put our little box, Android box right here in the front. Going to plug in the HDMI into the back of the cabinet. Let's see, HDMI is on this side. So apologies real quick. All right. Quarter Arcade says, mine works fine with just two. Buy stuff T2 19-inch comes with 4 sensors. So you just have the bottom 2 disconnected for now. I think it works fine with 2 sensors. And so most people, like, you don't kind of know how better it is until you experience it. So, I mean, like, if you're using the 2 sensors, hold on, let me just plug this in real fast. If you're using the 2 sensors, like, you'll see like experience some drag, and then it'll be as accurate as it can play it. It'll just be improved once you play it with the 4 sensors. So that's all. That when you add in more of that accuracy, you decrease the drag, I assume, and then it'll be a little bit easier to play. So sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Okay. All right, so I just plugged in the Pandora's box, turning on the TV. All right, so for the Retro Shooter Red kit here, I just have a USB cable and then recoil. So let's just try it in the front side right here. So gun recoil, and then light gun, and then the pedals on the front right there. There's so many liars coming out of this thing already. Man, so many things. All right, let's just do one pedal. Just gonna do one player for right now because I messed up my blue lens already. I unscrewed the blue lens and a little piece came out. So I'm gonna have to fix that off stream later. But let's just do one player Pandora box for now and see if this was really as plug and play as it seems. It took me about 30 minutes to kind of plug in everything. There's wires all over the place. I'm sure this could be integrated a little bit cleaner, but for the most part, I think we're ready to go. We're ready to roll. All right, let's go input, HDMI. Oh, all right, that's interesting. So you press down the gun and there's like, it's zip there. So there there is like a recoil that's inside of here that's actually like you can physically feel it, but it's loud. There's like the zipping sensor. So if you hold it down, it does that. Yeah, I don't know how to describe that. That's so weird. I kind of expected that because like I remember seeing videos of that, but like feeling it in hand is definitely super interesting. So you got individual recoil, holding it down. It's like it's zippy. That's like the sound of it. It's like zippy feeling. All right, so I have the Pandora's box, and it has a yellow light that's on. Oh, I probably need to flip the on switch. There. Okay, that's off. Okay, there's the off and on switch is like right here to the power. So if I turn that on, that was on. And do I have it on the right input? Let me just change the TV inputs and see if I have it on the right one. Is it HDMI 3? Ba-dum. Show me. Show me this is working. Yes, Retro Shooter Pandora box. Ba-dum. All right, here it is. So this is on a 32-inch screen. Just for right now, for testing sake, we just want to test what this looks like. And there's 518 games on here. But how do I navigate this? There's actually, I'm like, how do I navigate this? There's actually a little button here. So not bad. All right, the guns work great. What's up? What's up? Arpeg, what's up, man? He says, all right, I'm here. Bush and Ryu Cat, $5 super chat says, can I ask a little favor? Can you see if other third-party controllers like an arcade stick or Xbox pad work on the box natively? Thanks, you rock. Absolutely. I'll grab my my fight stick and an Xbox controller. I believe you can just plug in any type of controller and it should work as long as if it's an X input controller. So, all right, we'll definitely test that out. All right, Retro Shooter says the 4 sensors fixes all their tracking issues. Interested to hear if this has pushed the crosshairs around ALA aim track experience or shoot with the ALA gun for our level gunplay. Yeah, so aim tracks had to drag with just the 2 sensors. I get 4 sensor gameplay. I think it's going to be improved, but we'll have to definitely see. We'll definitely see. Mine only came with 2 sensors. I think the 4 sensors, you're definitely going to need to upgrade that to be able to get that working on. All right, the PDF has a whole bunch of compatible controllers. But yeah, don't worry, Bush and Ryu Cat. Thanks for the $5 super chat. I will definitely test it out. Okay, so in order to move left and right, you got 518 pages of games. And so, oh my goodness. Okay, Police Trainer. All right, so this is one of my favorite games of all time. So we definitely got to try out Police Trainer and just see if this works out. Okay, so I don't know. So that's moving it up and down. I don't know if this is like the start button. Oh no, that was the page. Oh, dang it. Go back. Go back. Go back. All right, so maybe this is the other page. I want to go back. How do I get back to... Oh, man. I wanted to play Police Trainer. There it is. All right, Police Trainer. This is a game I know how to play. Is that the select button? Oh, I saw in order to select, you press the trigger button. So you move up and down with here, and then you select with the trigger button. All right. Hopefully this has been good and entertaining to be able to test this out. We'll see if I plugged everything in correctly. I screwed up my blue gun already. I have this little extra thing here. Look at that, Police Trainer. Huh. Press start. All right, this is J-pad is in there. So hope one of these is a start button. All right, so that looks like that was the start button right there. All right, let's test it out. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. I need to calibrate this somehow because it's right now it's just shooting in the top left corner. How do I calibrate this thing? I got to look at the freaking instructions, right? All right. So the cool news is that it's just a plug and play arcade game. The bad news is that my thing is just shooting the top left corner right there, and it's not calibrated at all. So I gotta figure out how to calibrate this. That's the one thing you got to do with all your light gun games, right? You got to learn how to calibrate first and test it out. All right. Oh, Detroit Love says there's an app to calibrate. Dang it. All right. And then there's probably a way to be able to exit out of games. So it's not as plug and play as I thought I was, but at least At least we got it working. All right, let's see how we exit out of games. Do I hold down 2 buttons? These 2 buttons? Okay, so I went there. Go down to exit game. Light gun, crosshair settings. Crosshair off, game controls, continue. Exit. Okay. All right. All right. So do I really have to go to the app to be able to calibrate it? Can I just go into like a menu and do this here? Player 1. That's player recently played. Hold down. Oh, play Street Fighter EX Plus with the little controller, huh? I'd be like, Hadouken! Hadouken! That'd be bad. That'd be bad. All right. Let's see. Carter Arcade, you've done this. Detroit, let me know, man. All right. Detroit Left has a great video on it. Shows you how to filter to the SD guns and other videos. That's awesome. Definitely check that out sometime. All right. Thanks, VC. All right. We're going to turn on the camera. So my whole point was unboxing. I wanted to see how easy this was just out of the box to be able to get this going. Because that way, oh, Android, turn on camera. And let's see how easy this is. You really have to go to an app to calibrate this. This is just a user manual. Try unplugging and plugging the gun back in for calibration. All right. Let's see, retro shooter, settings, menu, Wi-Fi button, system config, game config, bookkeeping controller, abnormal conditions, light gun, PC button instructions. Oh, you can plug this into a PC too. Nice. All right, so here's all the instructions on their website. To be able to plug everything in. Nice, very nice. In-game alphabetically, easily switch between aspect ratios, gamepad controller functions. So you can switch between gamepad and the gun. Resolution settings, Wi-Fi configuration, gamepad configuration, light gun to test. All right. For retro shooter light gun IO test, crosshair setting. When the light gun is inserted to the console for the first time, please do a crosshair setting. If you have 2 light guns, please do crosshairs by 1. Press the start button on the 1 player to enter the crosshair setting screen. Please use the gun to aim the bullseye and pull the trigger. You need to aim and shoot full bullseyes in the center position. Crosshair setting is completed and will prompt the crosshair setting to be saved. Awesome. Okay, so the player 1 button is that one. Exit button is there. Press the start button to the 1 player to enter the crosshair setting. Okay, so let's try that one more time. So gun, we're going to plug this in again for the first time. Bump. We're going to hold down. There it is. Ah, nice. Look at that. Cool. So the triggers, please correctly place the sensors. They're not, I think, I don't think I even had this on. I had to press something to make sure that this is turned on. So I see a green one. I saw a green light on this right here, but there's no green light on this one right here. I wonder if I had to plug it into a certain thing. Okay, let's try that one more time. So I just plugged in. I think that was it. All right, I think it's set. So I just had to do the crosshair settings. Yo. What's up, P-dubs? Did I update to the latest firmware? No, I just opened this up and plugged it in. That's how I do. We just tested it out for the first time. We're like, hey, does this thing work? Come on, bada bing, bada boom. I want to play Marvel vs. Capcom using my gun. That's what I want to do next. All right, let's go back to Police Trainer. All right, I just want to test it out. I wanted to see how easy this was. I literally barely looked up instructions. The only instructions that I looked at were how to just calibrate the gun when you first turn it in. Otherwise, I think this was as simple as it got to be able to test light gun games, but we'll see. We'll see how this works out. All right, press start. Oh, nope, I don't want you to do that. Okay. All right. Oh, no, it's still on that side. Why? Why did it not save over there? Oh, no. My guns are still shooting over there. It looked like it was okay. It looked like my crosshair settings were saved. Man, negative. All right, the top sensors have an off and on button. Yeah, my off and on sensors are not on right now. Like on crosshair setting. Let's go back to this.